Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Karen, and this is Desires of Cat's Heart channel. I'm like, okay, which video am I doing today for which channel? If y'all don't know, I have two channels, and Kristen kindly sent me a PM about a year ago, and I didn't realize that you could get PMs on YouTube. So I'm just now trying to catch up with everybody that said something to me. I didn't know that you could do that. I know you could PM on Facebook, but I didn't know that you could send a personal message on YouTube. And then when I found that out, I had no idea where to go to see them. So this is a long overdue video. She said, I was really enjoying your journey, and I was really enjoying your channel and just your walk with the Lord, and you disappeared. And I did disappear. I did totally just abandon my channel, and I'm sorry. If you're still there, my original 30 subscribers, thank you. And I have to finish the book of Joseph. The Lord has been on me about that. It's been over a year that I haven't even finished it. I think that I abandoned my channel because it just got too hard. The walk got too deep. The mire got too hard. It got too much. And I was very overwhelmed. And when I have another channel called Babies Love Nursery, if y'all don't know, and if my family happens to see this and you judge, whatever, do you. If you can't walk on eggshells your whole life. So if they see this and they go to there and they pick on me and they judge and whatever, it's just, I'm like done with that now. I just don't care. I was trying to keep the two separate for a long time, but let me just move on. Reborns, I fell in love with reborns, which are very realistic baby dolls. They are very realistic, and I, being a person that cannot have children and yet don't even have a husband yet, which he's on his way, and it's going to happen when it's God's time, not my time. If it was my time, it probably would have happened a good 10, 15 years ago. But reborns are fun. Even though they're a doll, they fill my heart, and they make me feel like I'm a mom. I've been calling myself a mom now for 2 years, and when I pick them up and I role play feeding with them, I feel a little bit more fulfilled than when I did before I got my reborns. And I know that's weird to say, and many people don't understand that. A lot of people won't understand that. Number one, just because you're a guy and you might not like kids, or for whatever reasons. And they really just kind of took my heart, And reborns, I got Benjamin just about the time when heavy warfare was upon my life. And when you have warfare and you don't know when the next hit is going to come, and it's not like it was warfare one day a week, one day every 2 weeks. It was multiple times a day, every single day of my life for over 2 years. Jesus knows that I'm not lying. And having a reborn there, holding a reborn, made me drop my walls, and they helped me to become softer. And if I didn't have my reborns, there's a possibility that I still might be very rough and tough-edged, and they really helped me through a hard situation. I was every day, almost every day for 2 years. I've had just, oh God, it was terrible. It was terrible. And I don't really want to talk about it, but to let you know why I abandoned my channel is because I was under oppression for 2 years. Heavy, 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 deep, 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 deep mire. And it was freaking hard. And every day I wanted to kill myself. And every day I just prayed for death. And every morning I woke up, I was disappointed that I was alive. And it was a very bad time for me. And, that's why I abandoned my channel, is because if I was depressed every day, in which I was, I wanted to die so bad. So bad. I mean, some days I still do. But my heart longs to be with Jesus. My heart longs to be with God in His home. And I think that it always will. Sorry. God just said, don't you dare apologize. And I didn't want to reflect everything that was happening to me onto the screen. I didn't want to do that to my subscribers. I didn't want to do that because usually when people look at a channel, it's for inspiration. It's to elevate yourself and to feel better in your life by gleaning off of other people. And I didn't want to spew all my crap, excuse me, Lord, on everybody else. It was the hardest, thank you, Jesus, you're making the sunshine today for me. Not just for me, I'm sure, but, it was the hardest time in my life. Next to my grandmother passing away, it was the hardest time. Every day, I don't know how I survived it. I mean, and it wasn't just mental. It wasn't just the enemy trying to break into my mind. It was physical. If anybody's ever been through a physical spiritual warfare, it was physical too. And for me to tell you that, and you might be saying, how is that going to happen? When the enemy just wants you dead, he's just going to try to do everything he can in his power. But thank God that I have power and authority. And I lost my confidence. After Trace Diaz, somebody walked back into my life, and it's not been the same. I have not been the same. And it kind of brought me down this road of being less confident. Of every time I said something, I would have to go back and say, was that stupid? I would have to second guess myself. And ever since that person walked into my life, all the anxiety that I had when I was a young adult kind of started to flare up again. I started to physically hurt myself again. And that is very shameful and embarrassing to admit. But the overwhelming feeling in my heart is too much sometimes. Just like a teen would cut themselves or burn themselves or self-mutilate, I would start doing the same things again. I didn't want to admit any of these things. I know that when you share your testimony, it can open somebody else to share theirs as well. I know that I'm not the only one out there that has experienced all this stuff. But it was freaking hard 2 years. And I did totally and entirely abandon this channel. I didn't want to put that on anybody. My cross at that time was hard enough to carry myself. I did not want to put that on anybody else's shoulders. I didn't want to vlog daily about how I was being abused and how I was being tortured and how I was being sexually with demonic, you get the rest. I didn't want to vlog about that. I didn't want to vlog about how my life sucked. You know, I didn't want to vlog about how I wanted to kill myself so bad. Who wants to vlog about that kind of stuff? And I was very depressed for a very long time. And it's still fresh, otherwise I wouldn't be crying right now. It is still so fresh because, and I still don't know why, really. And it made me second guess my relationship with God. And a lot of times I would take my covenant ring off. The one that God let me get in the mall, and he said the only way you could get this ring is if you're gonna be pure for me, and you're not gonna go out and you're not gonna do the things that you used to do, and you're gonna stay pure, and you're not gonna be with a man, and I don't know how I kind of got off there, but I forgot what I was really talking about. But I have kept my vows, and I second guess God and his commitment towards me and his love for me. And I would take this ring off and throw it across the room and say, screw you, God. And I had a really hard time in life for a while there. And I saw somebody say on TV, good 4 or 5 years ago, if you praise God in the good times, you gotta praise him in the bad times. And that sounds so good. That sounds really nice. But actually doing that was very hard. But I was at the point where I couldn't walk back to my old life because I wasn't that person anymore. I wasn't the person that would just do those things. I wasn't that person who would just go smoke weed with my ex-boyfriend and have lots of sex and do all that stuff. I couldn't go back. But yeah, I felt like I was stuck because it was just it was the hardest time in my life, even more so than my grandmother passing away. I didn't understand it. I didn't understand why God wasn't shielding me from that. Why he wasn't saying anything to me in that time. I didn't understand it. And so when times really get rough and I needed an escape, I would just take my Bible and some water and a pillow or a blanket and just go into the bathroom and just sit there until God spoke to me. I mean, when you're desperate, you do desperate things, you know. Lying on the floor in the fetal position didn't work. You know, hurting myself didn't work because, I mean, that's just pretty stupid. You think that if you're going to hurt yourself so that way the enemy or whoever comes along isn't going to hurt you, and that's just really dumb. It was the most horrific time in my life, and I didn't want to vlog about that. It was so hard, and not only just being so hard, but you would tell somebody, and I would go into my church, and I would pray, and they would say, you know, speak authority over the enemy. That sounds nice. That sounds wonderful. But when you're literally being beaten up by a demonic being, when you're literally being punched in the face so many times you just pass out. And another thing is not only that it was hard to go through, but it's, if I tell somebody that's an unbeliever, they start questioning your mindset. Is this really the enemy, or are you just kind of wigging out? Are you just really kind of, off the reservation and you need to go to the hospital because your brain is freaking nuts? Yeah. It's not only, to tell a pastor or somebody in the church that I really don't like to talk about my church experiences. They've not been great. And I say, God, is it me? I mean, I'd rather have it be me. That way I can fix it. God can fix me. I can't fix other people, but I can fix me. And I was looking for an answer, and I was looking for God. And about 6 months, I went into my church, and I put the prayer shawl over my head, what I call the prayer shawl God gave me. And I was there for deliverance. And somebody came over to me, and they tapped me on the shoulder, and, they're like, are you okay? This and that. And unless I'm asking you for help, don't come up to me when I'm praying. Why do I need a third party when it's already just me and God? So they prayed over me, and then they're like, okay, are you ready to go now? They just did it so I would leave the church so they can go home for the day. And that really just broke my heart. And just people just, I could just get into a whole other tizzy. It was just the hardest time in my life. And Reborns softened me through that period. When you don't know when the next hit is coming, you gotta be strong all the time. You gotta have your walls up. You gotta be like a brick wall, because you don't know when it's gonna come. You don't know when the next anything is you're gonna get hit next. You don't know when the next time you're gonna get sexually touched. You don't know. And I had to stay like a brick wall. I couldn't let my walls down. I couldn't be soft. I couldn't be gentle. So Reborns are a way of me being able to be soft and gentle after the warfare. During the warfare, I would just hold them, and even though I was still attacked while that was happening, they gentled me. They softened me. And if they didn't do that, then I think that I really would have broke. I think that I really just would have just really either really, really, really hurt myself, or would have tried to, I don't know. So that's why I haven't been on this channel much. Put a recipe up here and there, but talking about it brings me right back there. Like if a woman gets accosted, it can be 5, 10, 20 years, and you talk about it, and it brings you right back to the memories of what happened, how it happened, how you felt like. And still I don't understand, Lord. Really, why? Why he allowed it to happen. I don't understand that. And if I allow myself to question it, then every day could be a battle between me and God. So I try to put it behind me and just stop questioning it and just move forward. Yeah. How's that for an answer? And you just, again, you don't want to say anything because, people might see this and say, oh, there's heads up, they're a red flag. She needs to go to the hospital because she's just insane, or, And I didn't expect for all this to be pouring out of me, but I guess it was God-led. Then I kind of tune my ear to see, okay, God, is that what, you know? Other than that, I still have to finish the book, Joseph by, not Spurgeon, Swindoll. Like, not even 20 pages and I'm done. I don't know why I don't finish it. I have to just finish it. Last time I was on day 28. And, so... And your next question would be, okay, when you coming back to the channel so we could see more of your life and see more of your journey? I don't know. I don't know. I really, it's taken some time for the bond of trust to form again between me and my Father God. And, you know, I was in survival mode for a long time. And I wasn't living, I was just existing. I was in survival mode. And now that this is, it's only freshly been, what, 3 months that it's been over? 2 months, maybe, that it's been over? And then I've been hit a few times after that with a couple aftershocks, is what I would call them. And, so I'm trying to get on with life. You know, because when you're in such a warfare, all you have energy is for is warfare. You're trying to save any energy. And I said a few times, what, you know, God said, you have to eat, Karen. You have to eat. I didn't want to eat through this. And I know it's 2 years. I didn't want to eat, and I still don't really have much of an appetite. I don't want to eat. I'm not hungry. And for somebody to be a former food addict, and I would, you know, have a rampage through the kitchen just to get anything that I could get my hands on. Somebody that'd be a former food addict and still not making healthy choices, but to now all of a sudden to not even wanting to eat anything, the Lord would say, you have to eat. And so I'm just getting over the survival mode, the survival stage, the survival, yeah. And I'm trying to now live. And it's hard because I'm still dealing with churches that don't want to do, I can't go there yet. That's a whole nother box of worms, can of worms. And but every day, long time I didn't want to clean my home. I've now been doing a little bit every day, cleaning my kitchen every day, vacuuming a couple times a week, once a week. You know, it was just, it was kind of like a 2-year car accident. How a car accident happens, and it's damaging and it's horrific, and you don't know what to do and you're kind of disoriented. But it was for 2 years that this happened. And well, I have to get out of this headspace because I kind of brought myself back into it with talking about it. So I have to go do something else to just take away, just to alter my mind back to reality and back to, and through this time, and it would be after a warfare, after a time where I'd be beaten and sexually assaulted by a demonic force, that I would literally just weakly, you see my left arm is twitching. Out of this warfare, this has been my bandage here. It's what do you call it? Nerves. And when I'm overwhelmed, it just starts twitching, and it just kind of uncontrollably twitches. And if I try to hold it like I am now, something else might start twitching. It's unreal. That is that out of all that warfare came this nervous twitch with my left arm. It's all right. You're not back there anymore. Relax. You're not in warfare right now. Relax. Talk to my body about this. Relax. It's okay. It's okay. Going into what happened after being accosted was too much trauma, so then my body starts twitching, which lets me know that I can't go into that today. So, aren't you glad you asked that question? I don't know when I'm going to come back to the channel. I do have to finish the Book of Joseph by Charles Swindoll. I desperately have to finish that. God's been telling me for the last year to finish it. Yeah. God would say, "Who are you?" And I would say my name. "Where are you?" I'd say, I'm sitting in my chair in my apartment. "No, who are you?" "I'm God's daughter. I'm your daughter, in whom you love." And he'd ask me these questions to somewhat kind of wake me up from the too much. To anybody who doesn't understand, it's like being kidnapped, but staying in your own home and being held against your will, and being beaten and being accosted. That's a nice way of saying being raped by a demonic being. A lot of people might not understand. Hell, I didn't understand when it was happening. I didn't understand it at all. But on one of those times that I was sitting on the bathroom floor in the darkness, saying, "God, I'm not getting up until you talk to me, until you give me an answer. I'm not moving from this spot. I don't care how many days it costs, I'm in the bathroom. If I have to pee, I'll get up and pee. I'm not eating, I'm not drinking, I'm not doing anything." And it didn't take very long, but just a couple of moments for God to say, "Out of big battles come big blessings." And that's what I'm holding on to. I'm holding on to those blessings. I'm holding on to the promises that God has given me. My future husband and our future children. And my life with him, whatever. And wherever it may bring me. I'm holding on to that. And I'm now done, because I gotta go relax and do something, because my nerves have wound up again. But, and if you don't believe any of this and you've come and you've listened to all this and you don't believe it, please kindly walk out the way you came in without commenting. It's hard enough to go through something like this and be honest and tell the truth about what happened and have somebody not believe me. That is a very heartbreaking thing. So if you don't agree with it, just number one, say positive things. Don't say anything negative. And if you can't say anything nice, just back on out of this video the way you came in, please. Thank you so much. Talk to y'all soon.